Hello there and welcome to Love Audio. My name is Paul Webber. Great to have you along this evening, this afternoon, this morning, good night, wherever you are in the world. Please do let me know where you're watching this from. And also, if you are new, type new in the comments and we'll shout you out, okay? Now, what is Love Audio production all about? Well, it's a safe, fun, friendly, and hopefully entertaining platform in which you can learn the basics of audio production, okay? So if you're on board with that, let's get going. There we go, a bit of a new treat for you, a bit of a domino effect on the Love Audio production slide there. I've got another one as well here, look. Been busier with the videos, which is cool. So yeah, hi to Rich Vibes. Rich is in the house looking after things tonight. Says good evening, everyone. As always, please remember to hit like and subscribe. That is a very good tip indeed, because it could win you rewards and things along the line. Not necessarily tonight, but it could do in future episodes. So yeah, tonight, what I was going to hope to do was to bring you a new microphone that's entered the studio. It may be one that I continue to use in the studio, or it may be one that I decide to sell on. But what I wanted to do was test it up against the current, microphone which I'm using here, which is the Marshall MXL 2001. Now, bear in mind, this is probably 15 to 20 years old, and the microphone I'm going to test tonight is brand new. Now, each one's got its own merits and it has its own different qualities when it comes to broadcast microphones, and these are broadcast microphones. So, you know, the Marshall is this little beauty here. So it's a condenser mic, so it needs 48-volt phantom power supply, as does the one we're testing tonight, of course, which, as you know from the thumbnail for tonight's video, is the RODE NTG4 microphone. Now, there is a 4 Plus available, and a 4 Plus is the one that comes with battery, so you can plug that straight into your USB socket or into your sound card, perhaps, or your mixing desk on XLR, and it doesn't need the 48-volt phantom power supply because it comes with a battery. Okay, but that's the NTG4 Plus. What we're looking tonight at is the NTG4 condenser microphone from RODE, okay? Broadcast shotgun microphone. Looks a bit like a hair tongs or curlers, doesn't it, you know? But actually, it's a very, very good mic, and it's got, as you say, see there, 3 different buttons on it, and I'll walk you through what those do in tonight's show. If you have any questions tonight about audio production or about the microphone we're about to test, then please do drop them in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer them as we go along. All right. So without further ado, let me get it out of the box and I'll put it onto the stand. I've got a stand above here already, and it's spring-loaded, so it won't actually stay where it is. Look, watch, if I let go, it's just going to go boing like that, okay? So we've got it ready for this microphone. So I'll put it just up out of sight for currently, for the time being. It's got an XLR lead here, which I'll be plugging into that in a second or two. Just leave that out of sight for a second, and then we'll get this one out of the box and get things moving, okay? So, comes with like an outer sleeve, a bit like a book, really. So you get that kind of wrapper around the book, don't you? Well, that's literally a hollow cardboard tube with the details on the back. What it comes with is the microphone itself. Also comes with an RMS mic clip, so it's a very small, thin microphone clip that's big enough to hold this particular microphone. Comes with the windshield, which is pretty cool. We'll be putting that on there as well. And it comes with a zip padded pouch that you can use to transport your microphone in as well. Now, these retail for 179 UK pounds. I haven't done any comparisons with regards to other currencies, but certainly on Amazon this was 179 pounds. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get on and unbox it, shall we? Okay, here we go. So this is it. Here we go. It's highly directional, it says. It's got a 10-year warranty and 48 volts phantom power supply, which we'll get from the XLR cable because that's plugged into the Behringer and and that's got 48 volts coming through it already. I've already pushed the button to make sure that happens, okay? So that's the windshield. Branded, of course, there you go. Hashtag not sponsored. Not yet, anyhow. That's RODE. And then you've got the pouch, as I mentioned before. Let's just get the quick start guide out, because I'm going to refer to that as we turn these buttons on and off on the microphone itself, okay? Oh, look. There's a sticker inside. I love RODE. How cool is that? I could put that on the front of my counter in the shop here. Brilliant. I'll leave that out. I didn't realise that was in there. That's good. Okay, so here's the zip bag. Inside there you'll find the clip, which we're going to put onto the stand right now. Okay? So it's got two different adapters on there. One is the small one, as you can see, which will go on the end of that thing there. But if it didn't have that, you unscrew that and it's got the standard microphone stand screw thread on there, okay? So that's pretty cool as well. And it's adjustable. A little clamp on there, which we can adjust the angle of that microphone, because you'll need to do that, and it's branded as well with the name RODE on the side of there like that, okay? So let's put that onto the mic stand first of all. Like that. Make sure it's in place fairly firmly. Just going to finger tighten it at the moment because I don't want it to be too tight, because I can't undo it again afterwards. Because it's not going to be necessarily a permanent fixture. And so here's the microphone itself. Some silica gel, as they always put in these things, to stop the damp getting into the machinery. And we'll keep that, of course, for later on. Now, this is the microphone itself. So on this end, you have the 3-pin XLR plug. Okay, so a female XLR will go into that, and then this is the business end, if you like. So the capsule itself is the whole thing. However, because it's directional, it's highly directional. In fact, what you're looking at is aiming at that particular point there when you come to kind of aim it at yourself, if you know what I mean. Okay, and what a lot of people use these for is to make sure the microphone is out of sight, is out of shot. So if you don't want a microphone in your shot like this one is, then it's a great microphone for doing that for, okay? And as you can see, it's got these grill type things on both sides. And here are the 3 buttons. So you've got one that is a negative 10 dB pad. So when you press that, it reduces the volume by 10 dB, okay? So you don't necessarily have to do that within your mix. If you find it coming in too hot, you can press the button and it will reduce the volume by negative 10 dB. The next one on there is a high-pass filter. So that one there, you see there with the little symbol next to it. And then you have one there which cuts off the bass. So that's your bass roll-off. So that will cut anything off below a certain frequency. And we'll look at the quick start guide to get the exact terminology of that and which ones it reduces, which ones it doesn't. The first one, as I said before, is a high frequency boost button. So that first one that I mentioned, that one there, not the high pass filter, I beg your pardon. It's actually a boost. It's a high frequency boost. So that will boost the top end for you when pressing that button there. The middle one is a high pass filter button. Now that's the one with the bass roll off, okay? And then you have a pad, as I said before, which is the negative 10 dB. There's a light that comes on indicating that you have 48 volt phantom power supply. There's a blue light there that will come on when we plug it in. And so I think we should just get on and do it, don't you? Sounds like a good idea. Okay. So microphone clip is up the top. Put that in there now like that. I want to make sure I can see all the buttons. Like so. There we go. Bring that down a little bit. And then I'm going to plug the XLR cable into this. And I want to mute that because I don't want any interference coming through the mixing desk as I do that, because I've still got the 48 volt phantom power supply switched on. So I plug that in. Blue light is on the microphone, although I know you can't see that because it's above you now, which is fine. Okay, that's that. That's all plugged in, ready to go. I'm going to move my microphone slightly out of the way. And we'll do a comparison with that in a minute. Okay, so that's the current microphone, as you can hear. And I'm going to unmute that one. And also unmute it from above. Okay? I'm going to mute this one now, this studio mic. I'm going to mute that now for you. And now all you're hearing is the NTG RODE microphone above me. Okay, it's just out of shot. If I just bring that down slightly, you'll see that's where it is. Okay, but it's just out of shot. I'm going to turn my speakers down a little bit because I don't want any feedback either whilst we're doing this. And as I mentioned to you before, I am going to put the windshield on the microphone itself, okay? So I'll mute that while we do it. Just use the other microphone while I'm talking to you. I'm going to put that right over there like that. Okay. That can afford to come down a little bit. And then make sure that's fully, it's just out of shot, isn't it? So that's cool. That's brilliant. Okay. So now what we have is the RODE NTG mic. So let me just put my headphones on. And this is the microphone picking up my voice right now. And this is the microphone that we normally use. Now, as you can tell, there are slight differences in the sound and in the amount of ambience that it's picking up in the background. Not ambulance, but ambience, room noise, that kind of thing. So this is the one that's above me. It's the RODE NTG4. The gain's quite high, to be fair. I've got it at 6 dB above, so let me just reduce that for you a little bit. And there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if I'm stood back here and talking to you guys on the camera, then it's picking up my voice nice and clearly. If I move slightly out of the way, you can tell that it's pretty directional. So when I'm in front of it, that's when you're going to get the most benefit out of that particular microphone. I could angle it down slightly, so I'm going to do that very, very slightly now. So if I do that, and then twist that other thing just slightly out of the way, so it's facing towards me, if you will, a little bit more. You can see it in shot, however, it is pointing more towards my mouth, if you like. So there is something that you can obviously move it out of the way if you don't want it in shot, and then gradually bring that down so it's actually pointing towards your mouth. I mean, that's obviously the whole idea of this microphone being out of sight, is that you don't want it on the shot itself, okay? So there we go. Let's just check that we're still doing everything on YouTube, which we are, which is fantastic. Thank you. Okay, that's good. All right, so in comparison then, this is the NTG4 microphone above me, and this is the studio microphone that we normally use. Okay, now this is vastly different as regards the sound that it creates. I believe that the NTG4 has a crisper sound, a more kind of mid-range and top-end sound than this does. This is more kind of radio-friendly, if you will, and has a little bit more bottom end. I have adjusted it slightly in the EQ on the desk. So, comparing that to that, this has got a more kind of rounded mid-range thing going on. So if I drop the mid-range down slightly, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's quite high now as regards mid-range. Dropping that down to about 10 past. And again, with the upper mids towards the top end, you're going to hear that crispiness as well. So I'm going to drop that down slightly and then bring that into there. And then, of course, the top end itself, we can actually leave that at 0. What I'm going to do is push the button on here that they tell us to press, which is, excuse me. So if I do this top one, that will boost the top end. So that is supposedly boosting the top end. 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We turn that off. That's going to roll the bottom end off. So that's rolling off a lot of the bass notes that you could hear. So that's taking off your bottom end. And then this final one here is the negative 10 dB pad. So if I press that, you'll notice that the volume decreases automatically, okay, by 10 dB. Now let me know what you think about that drop in dB. I'd like to hear your comments, if you wouldn't mind, because it may be that I've got too much gain going through the desk, and therefore, I didn't want to to overpower the microphone at all, have too much gain going through there, and then obviously peaking at your end. So, do let me know what you think about that. That's with the negative 10 dB on. I could boost the gain at this end, which would give us a little more gain on the desk. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that takes us up to the volume that it used to be at. but the microphone's working really hard in dropping that to 10 dB. So I think that's good for like a noisy environment, let's say. So you want to drop the decibels by negative 10 dB, but you still want it to pick up the presenter's voice. I think that's a pretty good explanation about why you would do that. So I think that's pretty cool. Rich says that's good. Thank you very much indeed, Rich. How does it sound at your end? Do let me know. Give me a thumbs up and tell me what it sounds like from this end. So, from a presenter's point of view, there's nothing attached. I can take my headphones off. I can talk to you guys as a one-to-one on the camera. The microphone is still in shot, I beg your pardon. So let me just let's bring that up slightly and then move the microphone itself down, but make sure it's still out of view, which is about there, I think. Oh, just about. Hang on. Let's move it up slightly. There we go. It's really adjustable. I love the fact that it's got an adjusting grip there on the on the microphone clip itself. So it gives you plenty of scope to put it on a stand. You could even put it on an upright stand like this, for instance, on a tripod if you wanted to, and then have it underneath you, perhaps facing towards you, but certainly out of shot or maybe to one side. But again, with the direction, because it's very, very directional, you can basically put it to one side or behind the camera, like I've got it here, or above the camera, or underneath the desk perhaps, but still pointing up at you, and it would be out of shot and still pick up your voice. I think that's really, really good. So, yeah, as I say, do let me know. Rich says, nice, well-rounded sound from it. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not too bad at all. Like I say, I've tweaked a few things. I've put a little bit more bass on than I would normally do. The low mids, I put a little bit of gain on as well. The upper mids dropped down a little bit because I think it's got quite a lot of mid range anyway on its own merits. And then the top end, as I say, I've dropped that down a bit. I'm going to put that back up slightly because I did drop the yeah. So let me just have a quick listen to that. See how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Yeah. So I could drop that down. It still sounds okay. I've just dropped the treble that right the way down at the bottom end there. Bring that up to midway, and then bring it up to the really, really top end. So that's really, do you know what I mean? So that I would definitely go at about 5 past instead of. There we go. Did I knock the camera? I beg your pardon. There we go. So yeah, I think that sounds okay. To be fair, it's a nice, well-rounded sound, says Rich. That's very good of you to say so. So yeah, I think the good thing about this microphone is that you can use it, you can clip it to the top of a very large kind of video camera. So it's good for outdoors, especially with the windshield on it as well. And you can also use it in the studio for doing, interviews where you don't want the person like almost swallowing the microphone, as it were. You can have it out of reach, which is pretty cool. And, if it's pointing in the right direction, there's a chance that it could pick up both of you at the same time if you're doing kind of an interview technique as well. So that's maybe something to think about when it looks like buying a microphone. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was a short, sharp video. It wasn't intended to be a long throw one, this one, because we just wanted to make sure that the microphone works, test it out on stream, and then you guys can watch it on the playback if necessary. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you think, really. And, drop a thing in the comments. Good boom arm mic. Yeah, for sure. And I think, this one here with the angle poise thing that I recently showed you, of course, is spring-loaded. So, and because the Rode microphone doesn't carry much weight, as soon as you let go, it kind of goes on its own, So, there is that to watch out for. It hasn't got the weight that this one has, for instance, to keep it down in place on that particular boom arm. However, if you want it out of sight, you want it, out of reach, if you will, so you can do stuff. Let's say, for instance, you were doing crafting and you didn't want to knock it whilst you were speaking, then that would be a good opportunity. I was hoping to see Bruce Cameron from Brew La Fou in tonight, and he was looking at a microphone that will be good for, because he's an interpreter. So when he's doing sign language, he tends to currently knock the microphone that he's got. I think he's got a Lewitt microphone in front of him, and when he's signing, he has a tendency to accidentally knock the microphone, which of course makes noise and all that kind of thing. So probably not a good idea to have that in shot whilst you're doing that. So he said, I'd be interested to see what the microphone does on your channel tonight. And it's a possibility that he might well buy one. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for anybody that needs that space in front of them to have the microphone out of reach, but still picking up your voice. So, I think it's a fantastic mic as regards that's concerned. It would be great for him, says Rich. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it's something that he and I discussed the other day. I actually did a test whilst he was on stream, and he said it sounds amazing. So I think it would be a great opportunity for him to buy a similar microphone, perhaps maybe not the same one, but something similar, so that it's not in shot, it's not in the way of when he's signing, and it doesn't interrupt his flow, whilst he's doing his show. So I personally think it would be a fantastic purchase for him, which is good. Let's have a look here to make sure I've caught up with all of the comments. I'm pretty sure I have, which is good. If you're on, by the way, and watching, then please do let us know who you are, where you're from, and we'd be delighted to say hi to you, especially if you're new to the channel. If you've not yet subscribed, make sure you do so. And also tick the bell icon, click the bell icon, because that will allow you to be notified every time I go live next, which is normally, as I say, on a Monday night at 8 p.m. GMT. That will soon change. End of October, the clocks go back at 1 hour. So we're then in British, not in British summertime, BST, but GMT rather. So Greenwich Mean Time, okay? So just bear that in mind. So whatever time of day it is, wherever you are in the world, just do the calculations, make sure you get it right, okay? Because from the end of October, it will change again. Still be 8 o'clock, but it'll be a different 8 o'clock, okay? Just bear that in mind. Okay, yeah, like I say, I think that's pretty cool. If you want to get in touch with the show, you can email hello@loveaudio.co.uk, very simply, or you can support us on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/loveaudio production, and there you'll find a new downloadable free podcasting guide. It's a guide to podcasting, the kind of things that you need to do to set up a podcast and the gear that you might need in order to go live or to go record it anyway, particularly with Patreon. With doing podcasting. So go on to patreon.com/loveaudio production, and you'll find that free guide to download there. It's absolutely free, no charge whatsoever. Okay, if you become a patron, that's absolutely wonderful, and I thank you for that, but there's no pressure, okay? What else can I show you? The website is loveaudio.co.uk. Click on that, you'll find different items on there, including blogs from previous streams that we've kind of combined into the blog feature, which is cool. You'll also find out all about the studio that I run here and the equipment that's involved, and also some demos of voiceover work, that kind of thing. And also, if you want some merchandise, then get over to this one. It's a new website address for the merch site, including mugs like this, and also t-shirts and stuff like that. Go over to loveaudiosmerchstore.com. That's the new URL for anything merch relating to the channel. So loveaudiosmerchstore.com is where you'll find that. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining tonight. If you're watching this on the replay, please do leave any comments or questions that you've got, and I'll do my best to answer those through the week. Otherwise, I'll catch you next week, Monday night at 8 p.m. British summertime. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great evening.